everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and I've got a lot of great stories about XRP and Ripple, as well as some stories coming out of Japan. The first one here is the Tokyo governor, Yuriko Koike. She gets coffee as she demonstrates her cashless payment mobile app. This is the governor sitting here. She has to her right the mayor of Shinagawa-ku, and they are paying with their cashless method. This is a coffee shop that's very close to my house. It's a couple that sources coffee beans from all over the world, and when you walk by, they have a roaster inside their tiny shop, and it smells so good. So the government is working very hard at achieving that 45% target for the population to go cashless by 2020. And then this is about the Facebook Global Coin. I got a lot of people that sent me questions through the comments and also on Twitter. They wanted to know what I think. Well, I'm going to make a few comments. And, the rumors were flying for a couple of months. And on May 3rd, the Wall Street Journal actually broke the story about Project Libra. Now, this is what we know as a stable coin, and it's going to be able to be transferred to one another, and also you can spend it on Facebook and elsewhere. Also, it is said that it could reward fractions of the coin to users who watch ads. Well, that is not a new business model. Japan actually launched that business model last November with the video platform by Lastroots, who pays users crypto, and the token is called Koban, to watch ads. SBI Holdings invested in Lastroots 2 different times, and this is an example of one of the monetized ads. So it's a company in Asakusa, which is in Tokyo, and if you want to get some stress out, you can smash through some Japanese roof tiles. So it's interesting that SBI decided to exit out of Lastroots in February of 2019. But getting back to the Facebook coin and their global coin, it's very impressive because they will be able to introduce this coin to 1.5 or up to 2 billion users. It's going to be backed with the dollar to start, so we understand, and it is centralized, so we understand. We still don't have all the details, so this is just from a few insiders getting some hearsay. We don't have any real deep knowledge yet, but it is said that it could also in the future be back to the yen or the euro. It will be working with the WhatsApp to transfer money, and that's why people in the XRP community are paying a lot of attention to this. It will be launched in 2020 in the first quarter in several countries, but they're going to focus a lot first on India. The Barclays analyst Ross Sandler says that it could add 19 billion in additional revenue for Facebook. And there are representatives from the Facebook camp that are visiting and holding talks with the Winklevoss twins who run Gemini. That is super interesting. I can't wait to see how that shapes up. Well, this is why they're focusing on India. The remittances in whole are about 7 trillion in terms of transfer volumes. And this is India. Look at that, 79 billion in 2018. And it was followed by China, Mexico, the Philippines, Egypt, the Arab nations, Nigeria, Pakistan, Ukraine, Bangladesh, and Vietnam, respectively. But wow, that is quite a target. And the BBC reported that remittances in India could be very interesting for those without bank accounts. The population is a little over 2 billion, and 20% of the population does not have a bank account. So that gives the market size of about 200 million to Facebook. That seems very interesting. Now, I have a lot of feelings, both positive and negative. The negative side falls with the fact that GAFA, which stands for Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon, seem to be just getting more and more dominant and powerful. So the strong global dominance by only 4 centralized powers, I think, really bothers me. And in addition, we know that Facebook has not been able to handle privacy well at all. And a couple of days ago, we learned that Facebook is removing 2.2 billion fake accounts. Fake accounts. Well, I don't know if they can really handle the responsibility of cryptocurrency. Even though they say that in 2019, their budget for the safety systems is greater than the whole revenue in the year before they went public in 2012, I still really wonder. Because if they mess up, they are going to ruin the reputation of cryptocurrency. If they are successful, then I think they're going to drive the adoption of cryptocurrency. So that old narrative of these cryptocurrencies are used only for money laundering or it's a pyramid scam will quickly disappear. And once people get comfortable with a stable coin and realize how easy it is to use and how convenient, they might then just look at ways to invest in coins that have the capability of going up in value. So I do think that is one of the positives. When we look at the money transfer business for international remittance companies, they are lean and they are hungry. And so it is getting more and more competitive. We just learned a couple of days ago that the largest bank in Japan is going to scrap 80 of their outlets, and that is their branches, their standing brick and mortar shops to reduce cost. And Mizuho Bank, which is in the top 3 in Japan, they are also going to close 130 branches. So the fact is that should Facebook be successful, this is going to drive more and more money movers to adopt XRP. They have no choice. It is a matter of survival because this space is getting so highly competitive. And we can see that in an article that just showed up a couple of days ago on the Ripple Insights from a partner of RippleNet. And let me just tell you that this company is a UK foreign exchange service company that cherishes, those are their words, their partnership with Ripple. And they are starting to expand because they reduce the FX conversion rates and they are out there fetching new partners like banks and financial institutions across the world. And I want to read a quote to you because this shows you that when Ripple puts in the rails of RippleNet, it is absolutely imperative that they adopt XRP to remain competitive. So it says here, and I quote, "We're also seeing increased demand for instant payments and are looking forward to the day when using a digital asset such as XRP to source on-demand liquidity during transactions on RippleNet will be as simple as using credit card nowadays." So this is really showing you that the people who are using RippleNet can now easily move over to stay competitive, which is not a choice. It is a must-do situation, which is why I think that it will drive more and more adaptation to using those liquidity pools of XRP. Okay, and when we take a look at this, this is interesting. There is a gentleman who founded the company Blockstack. Blockstack has received 70 million in funding, most recently 50 million in April. Also, Harvard boy, they invested in this token sale to the tune of 12 million. So the founder, Munib Ali, and he also is a PhD out of Princeton, he says that Asia is the most important region for crypto. Why? Because this area is open to newer technologies. So he cites Japan, China, South Korea, Taiwan. They are the top destinations for crypto related startups. And he believes that since the Second World War, there has been a tech boom in this part of the world, and he doesn't see crypto any different. People are more tech savvy, and Asians love their gadgets. So the big companies in Asia, they pour a lot of money into R&D. So we can see that also translating into the Japan Cryptocurrency Business Association. This is, as of May 24th, an association with 101 companies. And they exchange ideas on technology, they exchange ideas on regulation, and they aim for a sound development of the industry. They are also putting together study groups and think tanks to provide the preparation for the G20 summit, which occurs on June 28th and 29th. So the 19 license exchanges in Japan are experiencing a tremendous rise right now in new registered users, 200% rise. And the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF, the international watchdog, is actually going to do some extra thorough examinations this fall, and they're looking for fishy transactions. So the exchanges here in Japan are actually stepping up their game in regards to KYC. And they are also going to change some of their rules for cold storage by rotating people in and out so that they can reduce the risk. And when Japan is looking to sell these global regulations to the G20, they are hoping to get uniformed regulation worldwide. So the inspections that are being carried out right now before the summit are going to bring a lot of insight to the G20 meeting. And Stefan Thomas, wow, he is going to have an AMA. So get ready on Thursday. Mark your calendar on the 30th of May at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. You can ask him anything. And it's really great. You know, he is the co-creator of the Interledger, and the Spring initiative that supports Kava Labs also just came out with a new application called Switch, which you can then create a new wallet and swap between that wallet with XRP, BTC, and Ethereum. That innovation moves tiny bits of value little by little till the transaction is complete. So through Switch, users can credit their cards with funds anytime you like, and it can be done in just seconds. If you go to GitHub, you can then get that application and have some fun with it. I did it, and it's very, very easy. So it's kind of interesting. The Kava Labs, if you watched Brad Kimes, they are also behind the XRP collateralized stablecoin USDX, which I think we're going to hear more and more about quite soon. And in Japan, there is a meetup, the first one. And this is one of the XRP community members who's such a good illustrator. He did this to celebrate that announcement. And it was made public just on the 24th, I think, on Friday. Here is the actual Twitter site, XRP Meetup JA. They are going to have an official meetup in November. There's not a lot of details yet. The details are still to follow. But you can see in just a matter of 3 days that the Twitter site has 1,151 followers. So I think if we look at this meetup page, and keep checking it, we'll really be able to get an idea how large the XRP community is in Japan. Okay, everybody, I think, yeah, I am jumping to the fluff. So I first want to tell you that Trump, President Trump arrived, and yes, he did hand out a trophy at the last day of the sumo tournament today. And what I want to show you is that they actually brought in a special plywood step for him to get up onto the ring. I was told that this plywood was actually imported from the United States. Why it came from the United States, I'm not sure, but that is what was told. And here is the beautiful cup that was made custom for the winner. It's going to be called the Presidential Cup, and it was given by President Trump today to the winner, who is actually Asayama, and you can see him from the back here receiving the cup from President Trump. And it was quite large, and President Trump, I think, was very happy. It was funny to see him come in. He looked in the beginning a little bit unsure of himself, but he quickly got comfortable and was all smiles. He was given a standing ovation. They were in the fifth row, and well, some of the interesting things I learned is that there were no PET bottles, which are the plastic bottles, allowed in the venue for the day, only paper cups. And the two of them, Abe-san, the Prime Minister of Japan, they played golf together today. 25,000 police were actually patrolling Tokyo, and that is a lot of police for his visit. It has quite a police presence wherever you go in the city. The other two presidents to actually watch sumo before was President Ford and President Carter, but President Trump is the first president to actually present a trophy. Okay, and then the two of them tonight are going to this restaurant, which is quite special. It's in Roppongi, and it's a robot taiyaki restaurant, which is a type of traditional restaurant where the chef make the food in front of you and actually serve the food to you on this paddle. Do you see this paddle here? And if I show you another picture, this is the view that you have when you're sitting at your table. And look at that great selection of vegetables and seafood. And when it's prepared, it is handed over to you on this paddle. This gal is actually getting a beer served to her on the paddle. Anyway, the restaurant is called Inakaya. You can look it up. I'll put it in the description, so if you're curious to learn more about the restaurant and the style of food that they serve, you can search Google on your own. Okay, everybody, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to be doing a live with Brad Kimes very soon, so I will see some of you shortly. All right, sayonara for now. Bye-bye.